I'm saying? Because remember, I think the last time I was here talking about they found these particular hieroglyphics of a group of Native Americans reading and writing Egyptian hieroglyphics in Maine. And we also have the book, Ice, the Ultimate Disaster, Richard Noon's book that dealt with that, as well as he talked about this stela of Akhenaten. This stela of Akhenaten that they found in Oklahoma. With Akhenaten's hymns on it in Oklahoma. You see. So we talk about a connection here that is unbelievable. So we're actually talking about right now that the gathering that we're dealing right now, we're dealing with Camite people, as well as a consortium of West African, because we're not saying we are all different types of Africans. We got a link there because even Diop traced the Wolof language from Senegal back to Africa, to Kemet, and shows the difference. So we're talking about one people, but we're talking about a specific noble people of ancient Kemet that came over in the West, and we are the descendants of that, and that's probably why your particular root chakras or your heart chakras are open to even get this particular information right now. We are, because now, what this is actually saying, based on the Hermetic material, which most of us out of print, but now, with luck, you got Thrice Great Hermes, which is G.R.S. Mead's book, Thrice Great Hermes. That particular book is back in print, but the Kessler out-of-print book company it did it. Came out in 1982, 92 for $50 and you didn't buy it. So now it's back in print. It's in the out-of-print format, but it's like $49. But in there they go into these group of Egyptians that will be in the new land in the last days, as well as the movie Highlander 1. Where they talk about we are immortal and we have to literally roam around the earth until the great gathering in a land far away that's not yet built. You see, which is the new Camelot, which is here. That's why they keep calling, every 30-something years they call over here Camelot. They did it with the Kennedy, and now they're doing it with the whole Clinton thing. The new Camelot. That's Masonic. So the key is these extremities, they say, the extremities of Egypt will be in the West. That's us. And this is more proof to bear witness that we are those particular people. The most ancient of the people. You see, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, why do they come to you? You see what I'm saying? But on the other hand, now, if we talk about that, we also talk about the Caribbeans, too. Because the first slaves didn't land here. They land in the Caribbeans, too. So we're talking about all the people of the Western Nile. The whole Caribbean thing, too. You see what I'm saying? Because you're also talking about, that's why you got your whole barbaric shit jump off the way it did. That's why most of your ancient Machumba, Vodun, Santeria, and all the other stuff that was cultivated in the Caribbean, which is your ancient science, also of African stuff that was preserved over there. So there's a history going on the whole time. That's why they had to cut the reggae out with that dance hall bullshit and give you Shabba, that bullshit. All science in this. You see, it's all science in this type of thing. You see, so even Lauryn Hill could be an extension of the whole roster thing, but I mean, they literally killed most. I'm talking about, this dance hall and stuff, So they're always doing something because they understand the real science on this thing, on what's actually going down. You see what I'm saying? But in actuality, this is also being witness that we are the actual ones also too. So now you saw them open up this whole tomb about a week ago. 2 weeks ago, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. They opened up this whole tomb and all this type of thing here. But if you notice with Hawass, who is a government man, to make sure that he refutes anything spiritual, it's all about somebody being buried. And you don't understand that this man is a government agent that they put over there in 88 to do that to anybody that comes up with other science on this. He can refute it. That's his job. You see. But if you notice, the tombs that they showed, if you looked on the walls, they had literally brown, dark brown, black figures. And they were just talking and shit, and they was not even mentioning this. Now, if you know what all they were saying, yeah, they look like they're from Spain or Russia. You see what I'm saying? And all this, but they was also talking about your boy, because of the whole Edgar Cayce Society and all them are looking to try to get into this space based on his Hall of Records. You see. Edgar Cayce, when he wrote the stuff down, by him not being an advanced occultist, He couldn't understand that it was a metaphysical thing that's going down. The Hall of Records is in the Black Dot. The Akashic Records is the Hall of Records. The Sphinx just represents your nature. You see what I'm saying? So they're talking about the Hall of Records, and they say it was under some of the paw of the Sphinx. Well, if you got to understand on metaphysics, your feet also represents wisdom or standing upright. You see what I'm saying? Or standing on firm ground also too. So this whole thing, basically, what they're talking about here, literally, the Hall of Records they're looking for, there ain't no Hall of Records. The Hall of Records is inside of you. That's the Akashic Records. Or it is called the Book of Records in the Book of Revelations. You see what I'm saying? So that's one of the mysteries on that particular Hall of Records. But they misconstruing it, thinking it's a literal Hall of Records. You see? That's just like Rabuni, Dr. York literally got this. The whole thing based on this barotheric gland that I talked about. He literally got that from Zachariah Sitchin's work. But Zachariah Sitchin is so these people literally go in and write themselves in history. Then they're going and write themselves in this mysticism. You see, all of this type of thing. The key is, they paid this man and they paid him millions of dollars to pay for his research to go and give you those Earth Chronicles. And although they are good books, he's literally writing this particular stuff for his own race of people. He even said it in Philadelphia. So when he comes to this thing, he talks about the barotheric gland, which is this gland that the ancient gods used to have, that the other gods removed. That's bullshit. Etheric just means ether. And ether is actually talking about the dark substance. And the etheric gland, a barotheric gland, is nothing but the pineal gland. But they say it's removed, but then again, he's telling the truth because he's talking about his people. So when he says this and stuff, you got to realize he's writing for his people. So when he's saying it's removed, it was never there because it's calcified. Or the ancient people who put them together literally could have removed that. You see, and they're literally reporting on a part of their history. You see what I'm saying? Based on gene splicing and all of that type of thing also too. What it's going to say is these particular people write this stuff and they misconstrue the actual science. Now, this is one of the keys. I don't know if the brother's in here because see, this Ethiopian brother spilled the beans to me about a month ago. I don't know, did I tell you about that? I think it was right after I saw you all. He came over and all, you know, they got a younger generation of Ethiopian brothers, and one thing now, if you got to give it to the damn hip hop on this shit. This damn hip hop, if it ain't doing nothing, it's unifying motherfuckers around the world. Because goddamn it, everybody 20 or 19, that shit is like glue. So which used to be this particular time when you had these separate people, you got these Ethiopians come over, they fall right into the hip hop shit. Big pants, the whole 9 yards. So he, motherfucking, you know, ragamuffin, hip hop. So he found what the cause. And from that, he started dealing with the Rasta thing. So from that, he even got an aspect of the consciousness, but it was through the music. So you see, so if you want, this is the shit that's going on universal. Anytime you see goddamn Chinese, Japanese people braiding their hair doing that shit. But my point is by him being there, he wasn't like the other ones that came over a couple of generations before and won't tell us shit. So he comes and spill the beans. I'm telling you. You don't get up there, man, not unless you got something on somebody, man. You don't even roll out the yard partner. That's a secret society. What's going down now? Then you got to go read the movie The 18th Angel. The 18th Angel. And they talk about in this movie about how they talk about the last days, and you'll know the last man be able, when man is able to reproduce himself. To reproduce himself. It's called the 18th Angel, when man is able to reproduce himself and all, based on the 18th Angel and all. And get that movie, as well as a lot of other things up in there too, based on the whole Lucifer thing, but I'm going to get into that when I go on into science and that. I'm going to get into that particular part even more. Get the movie Shadow Builders. Bram Stoker's Shadow Builders. Get the movie Bram Stoker's Shadow Builders. Because in that movie, you're going to find out how melanin works. And anytime you hear the word shadow, in the movie Bram Stoker's Shadow Builders, the movie, as far as one that we're dealing with. Now, remember I was talking about this Viagra? And I was telling you that the Viagra, they was putting melatonin in the Viagra. And that's what was getting these damn crackers dicks on the hard and stuff. But, you see, and now the women is taking it. But it's melanin. And I was saying that was interesting because I was telling them that up in Chicago when one brother had just, and he said he's heard it on the news also. He was saying that they got a new kind of Viagra out now. It's going to make the other one obsolete, and it's called Melanin 1. Melanin 1, which is this new kind of Viagra. So this is bearing witness to what I was telling you when they put the melanin. Because I just got experience. I said, well, they put melanin in that shit. But I also know the pineal gland and the whole function with the ding-dong and the pineal gland and all that. So when the brother said this, it was like music to my ears. When he said it's called Melanin 1. So that let you know what this whole Viagra thing is. Because everything the last time, all the products in the store now, they're making a super atom out of it and they put the melanin in it. So all of your sunscreens and everything, all of most of your health food shit that these crackers keep in the store is melanin induced. Just about % of all the health food in their stores is melanin induced. So what happened was, remember in 1993, the government stepped out and said, listen, we get ready to stop the vitamins. We're going to put a halt on the vitamins. But you know, most white people is into that stuff. So them crackers got, you know, man, they said, we beat up, these crackers beat up, burnt down the damn country. So they can't force them with certain things. They got to do a lot of mind control to force them into a thing. They not outright just come and force white people to do shit like that. They don't buy it like you. We've been beat down so much, we go, oh well, what the hell? I would have got down seatbelt on. You know what I'm saying? But white people, they got to take series of kids. Look at the kid all fucked up. Little Johnny nose cut off when on a seatbelt. Then they'll come and put the law out. So they have to do years of propaganda to force them and stuff. But they just can't just outright just come and just tell a white person, you ain't doing this. These crackers will burn down the country. So when they told these crackers that we got rid of the vitamins in the fall of 93, they checked it over the summer. They said, man, we're going to have problems with this. They said, okay, wait a minute. Let all them fools that's into the health food thing, let them go. We're only interested in the masses people. So they said, okay, what we're going to do is we got to get people faith back in doctors. So then they put on ER, Chicago Hope, LA doctors. And they just didn't put on no Marcus Wells, some old ass, crusty ass crackers. They put on nice looking crackers in black people. You know, niggas that you know, you say, your white girl said, I can fuck him, I can fuck George Clooney. See? So they put on these nice looking white people, and on Chicago Hope, they put on a younger crew. Not so young that you can't believe they're a doctor, but a nice looking crackers, you know what I'm saying? Not no old ass cracker, you know, Marcus Wells and shit. Or some old doctor, you know, old doctor from Gunsmoke. So they put on this stuff here, it's a mind control thing. Then all of a sudden they got ER, and they got all this particular stuff, and they got all the movie, City of Angels, this movie with your girl Meg Ryan, and they pump that shit to get people faith back into these damn doctors of death. They already knew they had niggas. You see, listen, black people, you know, they'll go to the doctor in a minute. But these white people started getting smart. So to get the people faith back in there, that's why they started putting on all these doctor shows. See what I'm saying? That's the key on there. So the lawyers did their little shit in the early 80s. LA law and all this kind of thing here to get the people back into the lawyer shit. You see, because the insurance company was saying, look, if you want some money, don't get the lawyer. Because the lawyer gonna take off. So the white people start catching on, so they got to put on all these shows. So that's so with the ER thing and all that is they say, well, we know they got a lot of white people into the health food industry, but for the masses, the ones that ain't, we got to still keep their minds and keep their faith in the particular doctors. And that's what they did based on all these doctor shows popping up. You see, before with the soap operas, General Hospital, and all that shit. But see, they died down, so they got everything is based on mind control and propaganda. On the way they do things. You got to understand what's actually going down and how they do things this particular way. Okay. Let me show you some stuff. I got some stuff in the Old Testament that I want to deal with right now. First of all, go back and get the movie Duplicate. movie duplicates. Because they got Sister Tysoners up in there, and they taking the memory out of dead people. They're taking dead people's memory and putting it in the live people and taking their memory from them. They got this technology now. That's what your whole Dark City was about. How they can mix these particular memories and build your shit. As well as Total Recall. But in the movie, the system broke down, and again, it's interesting when you go see them. Or it's at the Blockbuster, duplicates. Got that cracker used to play on, what's the name of that guy name? I can't think of his name right now. He used to play on that doctor show, used to come on Sunday nights back in the 70s, but I can't think of the name of that shit. Anyway, the movie duplicates, the thing broke down when the guy said, because they went and got a regular citizen, or one of these regular white people, you know, the upper mobile, middle class white people. And the guy said, didn't I tell you that you can't do it with those kind of people? You always got to get derelicts or alienated people from the society. Now, derelicts is bums or whatever, but alienated people is black people. Which means anything happens to a nigga, who gives a damn anyway? And then if the black people do holler, it ain't going to be but a week. But they said that in the actual movie. It's in the movie. You got to check the case study out on the actual movie. But they also say, but it's interesting because when Sister Tyson is saying something, the man comes and gets in her shit and say, I am your superior of the United States government. So they just didn't say, well, this is some bogus agency. They admitted that it's the government that's doing this stuff. Go back and check that movie out. I'll check that movie out again. So now in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 18, you're going to see something called a fleece of wool. Remember I talked about the golden fleece? And the woolen fleece is actually melanin. I talked about that now. If you go get the movie Jason and the Argonauts, for the people that's never heard that particular thing again. This particular word is in the Bible. It's in, also there's a book called it's interesting because the Jews got an Old Testament that's this thick. Now remember, ain't this a bitch now? You got an Old Testament at the beginning of your New Testament in a book like this thick. Right? Yet the Jews got an Old Testament alone, some shit that they got from the ancient black man, this thick called the Tinkana. The Tinkana or something like that, the Tinkana. That's this thick. Even they got a Torah that's this thick. You see? So now ain't that something? You got two books in one that's this thick. And they got one book that's this thick of the Old Testament alone. You see? Now, in the Tinkana of the Old Testament, in Judges, I'm going to give it to you right in your face, so I don't want to hear no more shit about Jesus, no fucking In chapter 1, verse 34, you will see this word, H-A-R, then the next word, and it's right beside it, a slash, H-A-R slash H-E-R-E, Horus, which is Horus. Heru, that's the Christ figure of ancient Kemet. So what the hell is the pagan Christ? Well, we didn't know that the pagans had a Christ. What is the Egyptian Christ doing in the damn Old Testament? You see. In Judges chapter 1, verse 32, you're going to get this word A-S-H-E-R, Asher. That's Asar, because you got Asar, Asur, Asher. Anytime you see that word, that's Osiris. You're gonna get that in there also. Now, let's show you another one. The word Kadesh. Anytime you hear the word Kadesh, you heard the Kadesh. That word was an original word for the one. Kadesh, or Kadit, or Hadit, or Hutet in Egypt. These are other words, but in the Old Testament it's going to be Kadesh. There's even in the ancient Kemet got a temple, and on the temple of Luxor they got the Battle of Kadesh. which is in the temple of Luxor. So you got that. That word is melanin, talking about the battle of your soul. We'll get into that also. But you will find that in there. In Judges chapter 4, verse 13, you're going to find this word H-A-R-O-S. H-A-R-O is the first thing. S-H-E-T-H. That's Harrow Chest. That means Horus set together. So you're going to get that word H-A-R-O-S-H-T-H. Harrow Chest, which is Horus set. Right in the doggone Old Testament. Right in the Torah, you know.
What was that?
Judges 4, verse 13. Also, Judges 4, verse 13, Judges 4, verse 12 to 16, you're going to get the word Barak, B-A-R-A-K, which also means, it's another word for Horus. Barak, then there's the word Harak, which means Horus of the abyss, In Judges chapter 3, verse 10, you're going to get the word King Cushan, which means Ethiopia. Cushan means Ethiopia. Now, in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13, you're going to get this word Z-A-P-H-O-N. Now, this is the key right here. Z-A-P-H-O-N. That's a word that in Greek means typhon, that you know of as Satan. But guess what this thing says right here in Isaiah? It's called Mount Zephyr, or Mount Typhon in Greek. And guess what this thing says? The summit of the abode of the gods. Wait a minute now, ain't that something? It says that it's the summit of the abode of the gods. So now, wait a minute, I thought this was supposed to be Satan. What the hell is the damn summit of the summit is the highest place the gods can be. That's the summit, the hilltop. I'm getting to the mountain. Mount Zephon or Mount Typhon. And I'm going to explain this thing also so you can understand that Christ and Satan is one and the same. You got to understand this particular science if you're going to understand anything that's coming down. And we're not talking about nothing evil. We're taking out a destructive killer for it that's coming that never was good in the ass. You know good is. It's just good for our ass. But like I said, the ancient Christ around the world, anybody can challenge me right now, other than Rome and this Jesus fellow, which is a Greek word, never taught love. Never. That's something new. Never ever. You can challenge me on right now. If you can find figure of the ancient world, you didn't know there was, for the people, I think we all advanced now. We passed the bullshit. It taught about love. It was always talking about killing. You see. Always talking about killing. I want to give you that right now for a few minutes. These are some old terms, but I want to give you those particular terms right now. I want to give you something right now also, too. Go rent the movie Starship Troopers. And you got to rent this movie because they got so much action with some of the shit right now. The movie Starship Troopers. First of all, they are fighting a twin star is the double star Sirius, which is the star, the ancient star of ancient Egypt, the ancient star of the Quran, the ancient star of Bethlehem. They stopped it. That's us. Osiris, Sirius, Allah, the whole 9 yards. The particular people are called Clan Dathu. Da is the spear of the Kabbalah, which means melanin. Da. You get Darth Vader from that. You see what I'm saying? See, that's what they're gearing up to fight. This is your ass. The black and the red. That's a leg bottom. Da Ma'u, Dark Lord of Sith. That's Seth. That's you. Evil has a new name. They fighting your ass. deflect man in this thing, and that's why they had to come back out with this new star. Crucial time. We'll get into that in a few minutes. So it says clam dark. The word dark you find in the Kabbalah is the spell dark is melanin. So they're fighting melanin. Melanin is symbolized in Egypt as Kephra, the bug. And they're fighting. They say the clam dark produces an unlimited supply of bug meteors. Remember my past lectures, I was telling you the meteor, all through all this shit, it's the meteor. You know, the meteorite, Armageddon, the meteor hitting Earth. Deep Impact, the meteor hitting Earth. They even had a movie called The Meteor. It came on, and the meteor is a subatomic substance that was around before the Earth was fashioned. We were around before the Earth was fashioned. That's why in the Bible they say the ones that we're going to say were the motherfuckers that were slain before the foundation of the Earth. Right in Revelation. Now, they say that they produce a bug-like. The bug is Kephra. You ever seen the picture of the scarab beetle? Bug-like meteor. A meteor is a composite that's talking about melanin. Each time you see the meteor, it's talking about substance that is outside of the Earth, and melanin has particles in you that is not only Earth-bound terrestrial, but it's extraterrestrial, which means you have particles in you that is around before the Earth, or like in X-Files, before the dinosaurs was here, that would literally replace man, using man as the host. That means that you're going to rise up and using man as the host, is your physical body is the host. Your soul inside is going to replace you and become that God. You know that. No caterpillar ever went into the cocoon to come out of caterpillar. It's a butterfly. So our stage as far as the physical body is over. That's why we fucking up every time you turn around. That's why you got to get more and more material shit to get pleased every time, because nothing seems to please you no more because your soul won't out. You see what I'm saying? So you got to go and do more things and put on more things based on an addiction just to keep an anesthesia to stay down in this bitch, because your soul wants out of this bitch. Get where I'm coming from here? You see. And bitch is a beautiful word. That means the dog stuff. Next time I want to call you a bitch. That's what they used to call the ancient priests in Hemmitt, bitches, which is talking about priestess of the dog stuff. You get the word bitch, you get the word bitch, you get the word witch or wicca. All that comes from priestess of the dog, so that's documented. I ain't making this shit up. So bitch is good. So next time they call you a bitch. I mean, you wouldn't take the person calling you a bitch all the time, but that's mean spirited. But sometime every now and then you just catch yourself and go, hey, wait a minute, that's good. See, if you eliminate something that's good, now you have to find a new word and stuff. You know, some words just don't do it. You know, like that nigga, the white man had nigga, and that hockey just don't cut it. It's still too light. Now, cracker is like the best you can get. You know, it's hard to find a good white thing for white man. You know, white person. White, no, that shit don't get you mad like nigga. You can say nigga all day. But cracker is about the best. Cracker about the best. You see what I'm saying? And even that ain't as piercing as nigga, but still yet, you know, but now, going back on. So the movie is talking about producing an ultimate unlimited supply of bug-like meteors, and that's why they say they had to go to war against this particular planet. So when they say they was going to war against a particular planet, they was talking about going to war against black people. You are the bug. Because they go and tell it, they say, well, they was operating on the bugs in the little classroom. You know how you cut off a frog. They said, oh, this shit here is advanced. It's been around since the beginning of time. What the hell is that as a nigga? Even roaches is brown. The Browner brothers. You see what I'm saying? Can't get rid of them. There's something. But then again, on the other hand, the ancient African did not separate himself from nature. That's how he learned how the hell he was. So it's something in the damn roach. He'll pass, well, fucking niggas pass too. Think about it. But I'm going to show you another thing also, too, when I get into the vampire thing. And I'll drop on this right now. Where there is water, there is roaches. That's the first thing they tell you in extermination. Where there's water, there's roaches. Okay? Our main key is water. We came to civilization and water. We are water people. Very key that you understand that when we get into this science. Alright? Now, the movie explains the difference between a citizen and a civilian. In the movie. We're not citizens. We're property of the United States government. 3/5 of the human beings still too. They told you that at the Million Man March. You see. And the citizens are literally soldiers to the system of the government. Which means if it comes down to it, they will fight against the damn civilians. You got to listen to what they're saying up in there. They're saying that anything given to you can never be respected. Talking about the welfare and all the entitlement programs. It's all in the movie. I'm like, this shit got to do with the bug thing. But it's in there. You see what I'm saying? It's in there. But the non-citizen is a person that is outside. It's like an alienated person outside of the loop. He's property. So a civilian is property. And they make it real distinct between most of these white people. They want to be civilians. They wanted to be citizens. You see. Each time they want to just chill on the beach, no, they want to go fight and get killed. You see, very key. You see what I'm saying? They say that the bug can colonize a planet simply by throwing its spore into space. That's dark matter. Dark matter is nothing but melanin. It's throughout the entire space. You see what I'm saying? As you know, when your whole space shuttle goes up, when it comes down, they got to wipe all the melanin out of it and stuff. And even to the point where John Glenn failed the melanin test. Now, I wonder what that shit was about. But he couldn't go up because he failed the melanin test. You see what I'm saying? But, so they say that these people can colonize planets by throwing their spore into space. This is all in the movie. That's dark matter, which is from the mother Draconis, which you're going to get into. That's what the whole Dracula thing about. Lilith, Tiamat, are called Newt's Kiss, which is called Haddock, which is the black dot, which is inside of us, a subatomic nuclear point or particle. We'll get into that later on. The movie explains how white citizens, when it comes down to it, will fight against the civilians. In so many words. You see what I'm saying? Most of the army people, or most of the people in the particular uniforms in there that they started wearing was Nazi uniforms. Was Nazi uniforms. So you thought the movie was crazy. We go in the water, they fight the bugs, but the movie had a lot of science in it. But you got to go back and just listen to the conversation that's going down. You see. Then they say the only good bug is a dead bug. Now that terminology was used on two people in Native America. The Indians, Native Americans, and black people. Only good nigga is a dead nigga. They kept saying it over and over. You see. Now, it's interesting because before they was able to defeat the bugs, before they was even able to defeat the bugs, because they said, oh, they said that they underestimated the bugs. Because they thought the bugs were stupid. It's like they think niggas are stupid. But the bugs are smarter than what they thought they was. So they had to go back and regroup. So what did they do when they go regroup? They kicked the white boy out, the black woman up there, and her name was called, I think I got it in here, hold on 1 minute. I got to give you this name. Her name was called